Here's the great news. I mean, we really are winning. I mean, it's getting overwhelmingly obvious that we're winning. And so we're about to enter that really steep part of the slope of the curve, which is why it's extremely hard to predict where we're going, whether it's 200 or a million. It's somewhere in that range. But we're going higher. I mean, a lot higher. I'm here for it.
Bitcoin's value could explode to anywhere between $200,000 and $1 million, which might not even be the peak. That's the latest prediction from Larry Lepard, founder and managing partner of Equity Management Associates. Bitcoin is becoming impossible to ignore. Governments, major investors, and financial institutions are all paying attention. Unlike other cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin has cemented itself as the dominant digital asset, proving its resilience through market cycles and growing institutional adoption. Its price remains unpredictable, but the trend is undeniable. Larry Lepard believes Bitcoin could soar to $200,000, $1 million, or even higher. Regardless of the exact number, the movement is happening, and it's accelerating. Bitcoin disrupts the financial system, offering a powerful alternative to traditional currencies. And as adoption grows, so does its influence. Make sure to stick around until the end of the video as Larry Lepard reveals the hidden forces driving Bitcoin's rise and why it could come out on top. Also, guys, only a small percentage of my viewers are subscribed. If you enjoy staying updated with finance content, consider subscribing or liking the video. It's free, and you can always change your mind. Now, let's dive back in and hear from Larry Lepard.
Bitcoin could go to, $1 million a coin, 10x from here, and it'd still only be 2% of the world's assets. It's a great question I've been encountering a lot. Well, yeah, I get it. You may be right, but gosh, I got to pay $100,000 for what you bought for 20.
Yeah, unit count bias. Yeah.
Yeah. See, so you get price bias, and I say no. You're looking at it from the wrong model. You're looking at it from a trees don't grow to the sky investing model. What you got to look at it from is kind of more of a replacement cost model that fiat's going to fail and Bitcoin's going to replace it. And if that's the case, with fiat, you're in a burning fire, you're in a burning theater, and you got smoke coming up. What's the value of the price of getting through that door or the exit so you don't get burnt? It's unlimited in fiat terms. So in my view, that's kind of where we're going. And, 5 or 10 years from now, it'll be at $1 million or, even quicker than that. And, everyone will be saying, well, God, I wish I bought it at 100,000. So you've got to kind of flip the thing. I don't think there's anybody in Bitcoin who doesn't feel like they paid too much when they bought it. They hated the fact that it was where it was when they bought it. I mean, what I always say is just wait 5 years. You'll feel like you're a genius. I bought some at the peak pre the SBF crash. I bought some at 65. And when it went to 15, I wasn't feeling great about it, but I knew I wasn't wrong. And now it's at 104, and someday it'll be 204. So if I paid 65 for that, so what? You can't really time the market per se. It's a hard one to get your head around, though. I will say that's the biggest objection I've encountered recently. Prior to that, the biggest objection was, well, the government's going to ban this. It's a nice libertarian fantasy, but it's never going to happen. Well, then the ETF got approved. And so they kind of had to throw that one out. The price is a problem. And you say, well, it's too expensive, I can't buy it. I mean, I think if you're not terribly sophisticated, some people make the, well, I can't afford 100,000. Well, of course not. But you can buy, a tenth of a coin or 1/100th of a coin. You can put $100 into Bitcoin. You can put any number into Bitcoin. It's divisible to 100 million Satoshi. So that's not really a stopper. Obviously, it was great that Trump won because he's so much more crypto friendly. There's some things about what happened soon after he won or right before he won. Before he was inaugurated, that launching his own meme coins, Trump coin and Melania coin. I was very disappointed to see that. I didn't think that fit with the spirit of Bitcoin. I mean, as you know, I'm a maximalist. I think most of the crypto projects are worthless or promotes. The SOP 21 thing is really great because now the bank can obviously custody and lend against and deal in Bitcoin. I mean, watch what they say. Watch what they do, not what they say. It's like Larry Fink. Once you realize Bitcoin's inevitable, then you start figuring out, okay, well, given that, I probably ought to figure out how to best make money on it. To JP Morgan's credit, they're smart and they realize there will be a business there. And so they're thinking, all right, we're announcing we're in that business. Even though Jamie may not like it, their business for the shareholders is to make money. It allows the banks to custody the coins. It will allow loans against the coins. It drags the coins into the normie, TradFi financial system where they really hadn't been up until this time. And I mean, for those of us who have coins that we bought at a lot lower prices, I mean, instead of selling a coin, you might just say, well, I'll borrow against it. We'll just have to see how it develops. But I think that we can now assume that, Wall Street and the major financial institutions are now in the game. Just like other nation states are now in the game. We now know that, Saudi Arabia and Oman and UAE are all accumulating coins. We heard that through Paul Manafort, Matthew Pines at the Bitcoin Policy Institute, basically passed that information along to me at a party. I think there's just a lot of stuff going on. I mean, Saylor calls it, we're now kind of in that golden age, gold rush part of Bitcoin development. And I really think we are. I mean, I think the ETF was huge, absolutely huge. And Subprime was another piece of it. I mean, and the BlackRock flipping, that was huge too. I mean, Larry Fink hated it, looked at it, analyzed it, said, you know what, I either got to get on board this or I'm going to get crushed. I think this cycle hits 200 very easily. With some of these other things kicking in, it could go a lot farther. We just don't know. I mean, Samson thinks it goes to 1 million. It's possible. Dr. Jeff thinks it goes to 500,000, 700. Anything's possible. As we all know with this asset, it trades like a wild animal now. It could also go to those numbers and then have a decent sized correction too, which it's also done in the past. Related to all this, and this is talked about in the book, is just the government financial situation is just becoming extremely dire. We're up against the debt ceiling. The reverse repo fund has been run down. Biden and Yellen left, Trump with a can of Trump has already called for lower interest rates. I know the Fed's going to push back on that, but when push comes to shove, will they be able to? If they don't cut rates, I think there's a decent chance we'll have some kind of a nasty event that will then force them to cut rates. The bottom line is, you and I have discussed so many times, is that the system is structured to require inflation. And if they do not get inflation, the system's going to die. They're going to get inflation, and how does one protect oneself against deflation? Well, you own things they can't inflate. Two choices are Bitcoin and gold, and Bitcoin's superior to gold, but gold's not a terrible choice. It's just a less good choice.
Meanwhile, Utah's Bitcoin Reserve Bill has advanced to its second and third Senate readings after passing a key committee vote. If approved, it will go to Governor Spencer Cox, where final approval seems likely. The bill sets strict criteria for digital assets, requiring an average market cap of $500 billion over the past year. Right now, only Bitcoin qualifies. The measure received strong Republican support, with 4 GOP senators voting favorably. 1 Republican and 1 Democrat opposed it, while another senator was absent. If passed, up to 5% of state funds could be invested in digital assets. Now, let's go back to Larry Lepard's more mind-blowing outlooks.
The problem with Trump coin is he's just selling you a dream. I've heard that they sold some and took some money out of the thing. As you and I both know, that's a fake dream. I mean, it's not going to pay off for you. It's going to be a shit coin. It's going to go to zero. So that's just very disappointing, very disappointing. And with politicians, as in many things in life, you take the good with the bad. I mean, there's no doubt that the red team is a whole lot better for crypto than the blue team, and Bitcoin. Yeah. I shouldn't even use the word crypto because I really don't like that word.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, right? Like a year ago, it's a whole different story we're talking.
Yes. People should Google and listen to that. The role of Bitcoin, in the economy. I mean, it's so positive that we've got people at that level thinking this through. Here's the great news. I mean, we really are winning. It's just getting overwhelmingly obvious that we're winning. And so we're about to enter that really steep part of the slope of the curve, which is why it's extremely hard to predict where we're going, whether it's 200 or a million. I mean, it's somewhere in that range.
Right.
But we're going higher. I mean, a lot higher. I'm here for it. But I'm also here because, it's not just number go up. I mean, I'm here for Bitcoin defunding the government, ending the wars and so much other bad stuff that these large sclerotic governments have done. And they've done just so much bad stuff. Bitcoin's going to continue to massively outperform gold, and Bitcoin is going to eventually demonetize gold. I say eventually cautiously because it doesn't happen overnight. In this inflationary cycle, I have every confidence gold will get to 5,000, 10,000, maybe 15,000. But while it's doing that, I mean, 5,000 would be, almost a double from today. Well, we're 2,800, but a little less than double from today. Bitcoin's going to go from 100,000 to a million, and from 1 million to 2 million, which is going to outperform Bitcoin by a huge measure. But gold isn't going to go away because there's 6 or 8 billion people on the planet. A lot of them think gold is sound money. The base money, the fiat currencies are all failing. So they're both going to go up a lot. But Bitcoin's going to continue to demonetize gold. It's going to demonetize real estate. There's so much monetary premium in things where it really shouldn't be there. I mean, real estate, it's a place to live. It's nice. That's how you get to just numbers that are much higher than what we're looking at today, as these other things become demonetized.
Unlike Trump coin and other gimmicks, Bitcoin isn't a short-term play or a hollow promise. It's a real asset with a proven track record. Even in politics, Bitcoin is standing out. Trump and RFK have recognized its importance, and their speeches at major conferences prove that Bitcoin is no longer a fringe idea. The signs are everywhere. Bitcoin is increasingly embedded in the economy, and the momentum is undeniable. The future is not about hype or empty promises anymore, because it's about a financial system where Bitcoin dominates everything, and that future is coming fast. Anyway, guys, before we go, if you want to stay most up to date on the crypto and Bitcoin world, subscribe to my daily 5-minute crypto newsletter. It's a concise resource for the latest expert predictions, breaking news, and top on-chain analysis, trusted by over 50,000 subscribers for insightful crypto investment information. Don't miss out on the opportunity to stay informed in the crypto market. The link is in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed today's video and that it gave you some value. I'll see you all at the next one, and as always, all the best.